Here's a shocking fact for you. If you're going to try to calculate the finance charge for a credit card that uses the average daily balance method, you're going to need to know the average daily balance. Go figure. So that's where this question begins. We're given a credit card statement which shows activity during the month, and we're first asked to find the average daily balance with an eventual goal of finding the finance charge in the new balance. So here's the most efficient way to do that. We're going to keep track of what the balance was after every transaction and at the beginning of the month. And we're also going to keep track of how many days each balance existed. So at the beginning of the month, the balance was $937.25. They just flat out told us that. And we can see that balance lasted for 3 days. For the 1st, the 2nd, 3rd of November. On the 4th, there was a purchase which changed the balance. So 3 days, the balance was $937.25. On the 4th, purchases were made, which raises the balance. That's the point of purchases. That adds to your balance because you got to pay for that stuff. And so the balance went up from $937.25 to $1,468.87, which of course I got from adding the previous balance to the amount of purchases. Now that lasted from the 4th until the 13th, which is 9 days. Next, a payment of $400 was made. Well, that decreases the balance by $400 and subtracts $400 from the previous balance, giving us $1,068.87. That lasted from the 13th to the 20th, which is 7 days. Next, more purchases, adding to the balance again, adding $89.95 to it, raising the balance to $1,158.82. And that lasted from the 20th to the 28th, which is 8 more days. And then finally, a payment of $100 subtracts $100 from the balance, leaving it at the end of the month temporarily at $1,058.82. Notice there are 30 days in November, and we have 12, 19, 27 days accounted for, so this better be 3. Well, that matches because that goes for the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of November. Super. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply across our little table here, multiplying each balance by the number of days that balance existed. And what that's going to tell us is the total balance over that 3-day period, then the total balance over that 9-day period, and so on. When we add all of those products, we're going to get the total balance over the 30 days of the month. So $937.25 times 3 works out to be $2811.75. $1,468.87 times 9 is $13,219.83. $1,068.87 times 7 days gives us a combined balance there of $74.8209. $1158.82 for 8 days amounts to $9,270.56. $1058.82 for just 3 days is $31.76.46. Now, as promised, we want to add all of those balances. That gives us a total of $35,960.69. And when we divide that total balance for the month by 30, we get an average daily balance rounded to the nearest cent of $1,198.69, and there is our answer to part A. Part B, we're interested in finding the finance charge. Well, they tell us the finance charge is 1.9% of the average daily balance, so we just have to find 1.9% of 1198.69, which we do by 0.019 times 1198.69. That gives us $22.78. That's the amount of interest you'd be paying on this card for the month. And then finally, the new balance. This is the easiest part of the exercise. The balance we had at the end of the month was $1058.82. That's what the new balance would be at the end of the month without a finance charge. But there's the $22.78 of interest, giving us a final ending balance of $1,081.96. $2.60.